and welcome back to the Internet Marketing and Business Solutions radio show with Ronald Couming from RCS Technology Solutions, where we help business owners and entrepreneurs achieve even greater success by attracting, converting, and retaining their ideal customers and clients. Today we have our second guest is Jennifer Baker, and Jennifer Baker is an award-winning speaker, best-selling author, professional success coach, and consultant. She specializes in mindset and marketing. She is doing a hands-on intensive retreat coming up pretty soon, which you probably want to check out, but certainly listen to the interview. Jennifer, how are you?
I am great. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Where are you calling in from?
I'm calling from Reno, Nevada today.
Nice, Reno. That's the other city in the state of Nevada. So, Jennifer, tell us a little bit about yourself and what you do in business and how you help business owners and entrepreneurs achieve even greater success.
Oh, thanks for the opportunity. I appreciate you having me on today. One of the most incredible things I've discovered over the last 10 years is that the small businesses and entrepreneurs love to come and try to figure things out on their own. And sadly, most of them go to different seminars, or they become seminar junkies. And Ronald, you know this because you're out there doing the circuit as well, speaking and showing people how to do things. And Ronald and I actually kind of met through the internet, but through a mutual friend who's one of the founders of Constant Contact. So, Ronald, you're out there doing kind of the same things I am, and that's really showing business owners how to do what they truly want to know so that they can either hire an expert to do it or they at least know what they need to know to get themselves out there onto the internet. The small business owners, as you know, they don't have a whole lot of budget for marketing, so I love showing them how to do these things sponsored by other companies so that they don't have to go really deep in their pockets. And I actually get to do the hands-on training programs with them and really deep dive into what they're really doing with their business so that they can provide that income that they need to provide for their family without locking themselves away from their family for 20 hours a day so that they can figure it out. It's really important to me to teach small business owners how to balance both sides of their world, which is work and family, so they can be that true success that they wanted to be when they started their business in the first place.
And that is so huge. You're right. I mean, some of the business owners, they get so overwhelmed. And I try myself to help them more on a business level how to regain some of their time. I tell them no MWAs, meaning no minimum wage activities for themselves. They are the business owners. They should be focusing on whatever is their top 1, 2, or 3 money-producing activities, and anything that they can pay somebody between $11 or whatever the current minimum wage is and $20, they should be delegating that because that will free up their time to focus on the top money-producing activities. And it also reduces the stress because they're not trying to be the graphic designer. They're not trying to be the accountant. They're not trying to be the email specialist. And then on top of all that, they have to go out and sell whatever product they're producing or service, and then create that and then produce that product. It's overwhelming. So I'm a big fan of what you do. Do you have a process in which you walk them through to how to kind of recognize, what their issues are, and then how to take 1, 2, or 3 steps forward to achieving what you want them to?
I do. I have a 50-point checklist that I go through on my very first consultation with them of what are you doing? So if you're sweeping the floors, we have a problem. If you're doing your email marketing and you're a plumber, we have a problem. Just like you said, figure out what your KPIs are and stick to them. Don't change and vary trying to be something you're not. And that's my very first piece of information I work with on is what are you doing, why are you doing it, and is it making you money? So then we get into a much more deep dive of what are the different software tools and products we can implement into your life easily. And I typically, and this is kind of strange for most consultants, and you'll laugh about this, Ronald, but I like to bring a client in, work with them for about 90 days, and then set them free out into the world to go do what they need to do. Most solopreneurs, entrepreneurs, the real small business guys that are just getting started don't have a huge budget. And I don't want to be the one that literally holds their hand all the way through it, but in the very beginning, I do. And I work with them so that they understand everything we're doing, so they can pick and choose what they like, and then they hire based on who they need to do the other work. So it really is sort of a coddling for about 3 to 6 months at the most with them as we help them divide up what they're doing. In the beginning, most of them have zero budget, so it's more sweat equity in their business. I get that. And I'm a huge fan of staying away from, borrowing money for capital and getting investors into a company. It's so easy to bootstrap a company today. There's no reason to really get out there and get huge capital investments into your business unless you're a product that you really need to go out and manufacture or something like that. So even those type of companies, I can show them how to bootstrap easier. So for me, it's a whole process of the 50-point checklist first. And then we start for the next 90 days trying to figure out what they're going to do, what they're not going to do, and then which system they need to work on from there. So I do that for my clients that actually hire me as a consultant. But for the seminar programs and the webinars that I do, it's a whole year long. You can come to my webinars all year long, step into anything I have going on. And then on top of that, I do have my live intensives. And I do a lot of small local workshops in whatever cities I'm brought to help out the local businesses. I'm typically brought in by SBDCs, by chambers, different big business organizations. So, for instance, the one I'm doing up in Lake Tahoe, I was actually brought in by 7 different organizations. They've been bugging me to do a high-end intensive. So I said, no problem. So I'm bringing, for like Lake Tahoe, just for this one, we're bringing in 5 of the top software companies, and then I have 13 other speakers. So it's an incredible lineup of all kinds of different business mind experts coming in to literally take the business owner, whether you're small to medium, from soup to nuts, from the very, very beginning stages of let's talk about your strategy. Even if you've been in business for 10 years, you have an opportunity of talking about your business strategy with the man who created Constant Contact, Alex Stern, and they just sold for over $1 billion. So if you have an opportunity of sitting with someone who knows how to do that with a company, I highly recommend it. He's phenomenal, and he's going to do a deep dive intensive on your business strategy, on who you really are, who your target customers are, and then more importantly, what is your impact in the world? So what are you really doing with your business? A lot of people, we joke about it with, like Walt Disney has said, if you're in business, you're actually doing something. There's actually something more that you're doing with your business. So Walt Disney was an entertainment company, but he didn't say that. He was there to bring families together. That's the difference in the marketing. So a little bit of that as well.
Yeah, and it's funny, both. I want to comment on both the people you just mentioned. First on Disney, because he's the shorter of the two for me. But he started Walt Disney. They told him he was crazy. He was fired from several different companies from not being creative enough. And he started the Walt Disney Company with $750. Now, obviously, $750 back in the 20s had, much more value than it does today. But even if that was $3,000 in today's money, that is, the buying power of that money would be about $3,000 today. But that's staggering. He went on. So here we are talking about business owners and entrepreneurs. Walt Disney was a fabulous business owner and entrepreneur who was actually fired from companies for not being creative enough. So that just goes back to never give up, and some people just won't get you. But that doesn't mean that, success isn't in your future. You just have to keep striving for it and getting your plan tighter. And I love also speaking about Alex Stern. In addition to him walking people through these steps, which is vitally important to any business or entrepreneur, and I agree, even if somebody's been in business for a while, it's possible they've kind of plateaued or got a little stagnant. So having a refresher is priceless. And Alex is such a great guy. He is so personable. So you could actually, I've gone to dinner with him. I've gone to lunch with him several times. He's a friend besides a colleague. And he is just such a personable guy. You have, so I'm very happy. I see the list of people you have at that event. Alex Stern, I believe Bill Walsh will be there, Laurel Langmeyer, and a host of others. And these are all people I know and I've dealt with, and it's a tremendous lineup. Can you give the listeners a little more? We have probably about 7 minutes left. So can you give the listeners more information specifically about your event and the time and location and how they could possibly maybe participate?
Absolutely. I know the biggest question that I've received from people that see the flyer, and I'd love to have you post it up on your page if you don't mind, but it really comes down to, if you are in business, you need to attend events like this that are hands-on. And here's why. When you walk in, you have specific things you need, and when you come into something that's hands-on, you can raise your hand and say, hey, I actually need this. And we can take that direction and actually work with what you need. So it really becomes a highly customized program. But seriously, from the very beginning stages of business, whether you're a startup or you've been in business forever, that business strategy, business mindset, and then how to stay in business and grow it is really what we're doing. And then you're getting hands-on training from, the founder of Rogley, which, if you haven't met Adam Robinson, he's super cool, and Doug Walls, the founder of Text Me Leads. So we have all these different founders of companies. And then my favorite, I think, my newfound favorite, I should say, is Chad Kirby. He's really, really heart-centered and totally driven to success with Infusionsoft. And I know a lot of people use it and they joke about it, but I'll tell you, he's going to do a really cool, hands-on, let me show you how to put your strategies together correctly for your messaging. So I think it's really awesome. They're all literally coming just to tell their stories. This is not a pitch fest. This is not any of that. It's a hands-on intensive to take your business where you need it to go, with avoiding roadblocks and pitfalls and speed bumps along the way. You can just really accelerate and walk out of the whole weekend with everything you actually need, which I think is cool. You can get tickets a couple of different ways. If you have some veterans out there, you need to have them contact you or myself direct, because I've got an incredibly special offer for any veterans that are either in business or starting a business. Please contact us, because we actually have some free tickets to give away, and I have a limited number, but we do have some. And then for everyone else that's on your show, and I know you kind of gave me a hard time about this, so there is a discount for anyone who's interested. So go to successgpsseminars.com, and if you're interested, you can also text, if you're not able to remember this part, you can text 21777, and in the message line type GPS events, and either way that's going to get you to my registration page. And then if you want to get a half-off discount, you can put in the words partner price, and that will get you half-off discount for coming to our event. And I can tell you it's already dramatically discounted, because this is the first of its kind. No one even understands what it's going to be like, but it will be a phenomenal hands-on intensive. Anyone who's ever been in corporate America knows that every year you work your tail off to be able to get to that year-end intensive retreat, so you can go hang out and do some amazing things. That's exactly what we've put together up in the most beautiful place, I believe, in America, which is Lake Tahoe. And if you're in the scalding hot heat all over the country, Lake Tahoe is about 80-something degrees. So it's absolutely perfect and breathtaking, and it will be the most intensive weekend you've ever spent working on your business instead of spinning your wheels in your business.
I love it. And that reminds me of a book I read a while ago. And first, before I get to that, that was by Michael Gerber. And he talks about, if you are the only person in your business, or you're so much working in your business and not working on your business, then you actually don't have a business, you have a job. But thank you so much. These discounts, and for the listeners, as I said earlier, I believe, is if you were unable to write down this information, you can go to my website, rcstechnologysolutions.com. media on the upper menu. Go to media, scroll down to radio show. This episode, as all other episodes, will be archived. This episode will probably be up tomorrow when I get the clip and get it all set. So you can certainly go back and get the information. But just so you know, correct me if I'm wrong, Jennifer, it's text 217 to GPS events, and you're actually giving away 50% off for people who call in from the show?
Yes, anyone who comes in from the show. So it's successgpsseminars.com, or it's 21777. So there's 3 sevens. And the message would be GPS events.
Excellent. That's amazing. And I want to thank you. We have like 3 minutes left. If there's anything that you want to convey to the listeners about, I mean, you've done a tremendous job, but anything else you'd like to convey? That you got 3 minutes.
I would, and it's really just a message to the business owners out there. All of us are busy. We're out constantly doing what we need to do to survive, to grow our business, to do the things we do. One of my most heartfelt, passionate things I can share with you is do not forget about your next generation. Do not forget to mentor your kids or mentor your employees so that you can eventually be able to take those breaks that you hoped you could take and have that life that you want to have in life. We all started a business for some reason. Either we're an expert at something, a passion for something, or we just plain old are certifiably unemployable, like probably Ronald and I. Here's the thing. If you're learning what you need to learn, please bring people with you on your journey, whether it's your children and you're teaching them your business, or your employees or your business partners. Be open and be sharing and be available to those around you so that they can talk to you and pick your brain and learn what you know. And always, always, always be learning. It's really important to me that the small business owners understand, and in fact, the book you were talking about, I think, is Good to Great. If you're constantly focusing on the most important things, which are the people that surround you, you can really make a difference in the world today. And as we all know, small business owners are the heartbeat of America and have pulled us out of every financial struggle we've ever had in the history of America. So let's all lock arms for once. Let's all make sure that we're feeding each other as small business owners and really take your business and the people around you to a whole new level. Just enjoy the beauty of being a business owner and stop running around like crazy and chasing the wrong things and chasing the wrong business solutions, and just really lock arms with the people that know what they're doing. That's what I would say.
Excellent. I love it. And I want to say the book that I was referring to was The E-Myth Revisited by Michael Gerber. But Good to Great is an excellent book, too. So listeners, you've just gotten 2 great tips for books to read. And if you're, for whatever reason, you don't really like to read, like myself, I don't have time to sit there in a book. But what I do is I get the audio version, and I listen to it in my car driving, or I'll listen to it in the gym when I'm jogging, whatever the case may be. So get them on tape. But these will also help your business grow. And we're down to like a minute and a half, so I want to say thank you. Even though everything you're doing is tremendous to the business community, the fact that you're giving away, I believe it's 20 or 25 free tickets to the veterans, the people who have sacrificed so much, personally and somewhat professionally. They gave up time to go over there so they couldn't work on their careers, but also their family members who had to deal with them not being there. Such a sacrifice that they make for all us Americans to have the way of life that we have. So I want to commend you both on a business level for doing what you're doing to help business owners and entrepreneurs, and on a business and personal level. I just want to say thank you for the good you're doing and trying to do for the U.S. veterans.
Our veterans are the reason that we have our freedoms today, and I absolutely feel like we owe them everything. So anytime I do anything, there will always be free seats in my audience for veterans who are trying to figure things out. They do what I can't do, and I do things that they can't do. So I would be more than happy to provide any services I have to them anytime. And I challenge every business consultant and every business owner to do the same thing for these guys. They went and did what we don't want to do, and they gave up their lives for us, whether they devoted time or they literally lost their lives, we owe it to them, their families, to help them when they come home live a life worth living, because they've certainly sacrificed more than most of us have. And one last thing, one more book that we can throw out there. I do just happen to have a book that I wrote with Jack Canfield, The Road to Success. And any of my registrants that reach out to you or to me, anyone who registers will receive a free book from me as well.
Excellent. Thank you so much. You've been listening to both Jennifer Baker and Ron Couming on the Internet Marketing and Business Solutions radio show, where we help business owners attract, convert, and retain their ideal customers and clients. Thank you, everyone. See you next week.